Hello and welcome to Friday Night Fright presents Comic Book Cavalcade 2020. Man, we're going to have some fun this month. Every episode in May, every day in May, there's going to be a brand new episode. It's going to be a mini review of a comic book movie. Yay, can't wait, hyped. So it's going to cover the gauntlet. It's going to be loads of MCU stuff. There's going to be some DC stuff probably. Might be some other stuff. There's going to be Flash recaps of Flash Season 2 every Tuesday. So it's going to be 4 or 5 of those, depending on how many Tuesdays are in May. But it's going to be tight, because I've also got a week off. Yay! Anyway, this is the intro Comic Book Cavalcade. So you'll hear this every day of the week, and then you'll hear an intro for the movie I'm covering that day, or TV show. Ooh, scary! Anyway, I'll be back after a brief word from our sponsor. And hello, and it's the May 9th episode of Comic Book Cavalcade, and today I'm going to be reviewing Captain America Winter Soldier. Sorry, that sounds very nerving and antsy of me. It's Thursday, I've got a day off from work, what can I do? So I should point out that I remember, last time I saw this, I remember it being one of my top 5 Disney MCU Marvel movies. I watched it a lot. I'm not even going to be unbiased about it. I think it's, prior to watching more in order, it's bloody wonderful, and especially after Iron Man 3 and 4, Iron Man 2 and 4, to Iron Man 3 and 4 too even, this was like breath of fresh air, because this was like a proper whopper of an action movie, really well acted, really well written, had consequences to the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward, and addressed one of my problems with the Avengers I did mention in that review of Captain America didn't seem particularly fazed by modern day. We find out there's a reason for that, and they were slowly getting more and more creeped out and freaked out by the surveillance state and things like that. But this movie really picks up. It's a direct sequel, both Captain America and the Avengers, direct sequel, and really sums up Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward, and is anchored by a great performance by Chris Evans, or at least that's how I remember it. Maybe it'll be differently watching them in order. Oh, sorry, and I'm rattled because I watched the morning show again, morning show episode 7, that was amazing, and to be honest, all I really want to do is watch that, but this podcast doesn't record it safe, unfortunately, so coming up in a few seconds will be Captain America, the Winter Soldier review. So that's Captain America Winter Soldier in bag. What did I think of it? I thought it was excellent. Really, really good. Yay, finally another good Marvel movie. It's been not since the Avengers, which, to be fair, wasn't that many reviews ago, but feels like it's a lot longer. Captain America Winter Soldier is it an excellent movie, or is it a really good superhero movie? That's distinction really needs to make, because not all good superhero movies are good movies in general. I suppose you can go by logic of something like Big Trouble in Little China is a masterpiece, but it's clearly a B movie. It's just a really, really, really good B movie. And would I say this was as good as Big Trouble in Little China? No, I wouldn't, but I would say it's really good on its own merits. The only thing I do take umbrage with, I have probably a few more things for this 10 minutes up. Thing that I take umbrage is the pre-release hype said, Robert Redford's in it, and it's a throwback to spy movies of 70s, which no, it isn't. Look, I like this movie, I like it a lot. It's not a throwback to those movies. Those movies were intelligent, pessimistic, well-written character studies, and this has a lot of character, and it does study said character, but it's not a character study. It's a big-budget super blockbuster movie. All character stuff is good, and it's very good in some cases, but it's the bookend real explosive action sequences, of which there are a lot, and of which they are very well choreographed. The essential gist of the movie is following on from the Avengers, Captain America First Avenger and the Avengers, is Captain America is now in present day, and he's lost everything that he holds dear, and he has nothing left really particularly to live for. And then he finds out that his best friend Bucky, aka Winter Soldier, is alive. So he's like, well, I'm going to save Bucky and I'm going to fight Hydra. the movie gives Captain America essentially a purpose to go on. And it's something which is a bit nice, because they could have just done a generic superhero movie, but they tried to do something a bit more interesting. Much like Iron Man 3, it tries to deconstruct the idea of Captain America and then reconstruct it, pointing out how is it working modern day, and how it works is fundamentally Captain America, Steve Rogers, is pretty much depressed. He's trying to put on a brave face, but he's just going through motions. He's the soldier without a war, which is sad in a lot of ways. But it just seems to be that, throughout the course of the movie, he gets calls to fight, and he gets his war back and all of that, but he's still not living. And it's an interesting, fascinating path to go down, pointing out that, the futility of what he's ultimately doing. He needs a war. He's a soldier. He can't function without war. And the other characters are all starting to move on and gain dynamics and things like that. But Captain America refuses to go and date people or even find somewhere really to live, because he doesn't seem particularly into the idea of moving on. He's still stuck mentally in 1945. He wants to dance, 1944 even. All he really wants is to go back, but he can't. But he doesn't want to go forward. So he's sort of stuck in sideways motion. He's moved forward 70 years into present, but he's still fighting against Hydra, and he's still pining for Peggy, and he's still trying to, save Bucky. So it's kind of sad in that way. And there's a sad tragedy to it that doesn't really come across in stuff like Iron Man 3 or 4 2. Despite their best attempts, Captain America feels like movie series they've got going on which is most relatable. You've got the action-packed messianistic stuff in the Avengers, and then Captain America you've got, not smaller per se, but a movie which is not character study, as I mentioned earlier, but does try focusing a bit more on character. And it's happily documented by the new co-directors of the Captain America movies, the Russo brothers, who are obviously known from stuff like Community, where he did some of the wackier episodes like paintball episodes, and Arrested Development. And they came from a TV background, and you wouldn't think that would translate particularly well to cinema. We saw what Alan Taylor struggled to achieve in 4-2, but to be honest, these guys really succeed, and I think the reason they succeed is they came from shows like Community and Arrested Development, which were, Arrested Development's very irreverent but very clever structurally and visually, and Community, which was a genre hopping, which was ostensibly a comedy, but was genre hopping and very, very, very visually focused. Like the paintball episodes are basically action movies done on a very low TV budget, and they look tremendous. So Russo brothers got this movie, and they obviously must have done killer pitch for it, but they've also brought something to it, which is they don't just want to remake Captain America, even tonally or visually. They want to do something new. So despite the fact that it's not really a spy thriller from the 1970s, that was their modus operandi. And at the same time, they wanted to showcase something different for Captain America, as it's exemplified by the way he fights and the way they shoot said fights. Joss Whedon and Joe Johnston shot them in very clinical ways in Captain America First Avenger and the Avengers, respectfully, and they did a good job. But this movie really showcases how ridiculously powerful, fast, and aggressive Captain America can be, and does a really good job of his powers and his shield, and just the concept of the fights as best exemplified by his first fight with Winter Soldier, where basically you see Falcon and Black Widow are really good fighters and clearly more competent than your average person on the street in these movies, but they're lost against Winter Soldier. And then Captain America comes by and their camera's jumping all over the place, and usually that's really annoying because jump cuts and all of that. But in this case it works because clearly these two are moving so fast that the camera can barely keep up, and the quality of moves they're doing and speed and all of that, they clearly sped up the footage a lot, which feels a tad erratic at first, but not like something like Batman Begins, where it's not bad and it does have tonal feel to it, but it still is jarring to watch. Here it's kind of jarring to watch, but also is a really good sign that these guys know characters, because some of the other action sequences between for example, Falcon and Crossbones and Black Widow and Alexander Pierce and stuff like that, they're shot more matter of fact, simple compositions. Whereas Captain America Winter Soldier fights are clearly portrayed as these two are doing shit, which is ridiculous. It really gets a sense how powerful these two characters are. They're clearly super soldiers, unlike in comic books, where they're slightly enhanced but not particularly superpowered. Here, they're flat superpowered, recovering from stuff which put a normal person down. There's also a sense of paranoia going through the movie of who can you trust, and it's used as a theme which is quite interesting. Actual running theme between all characters, and shows that people's trust in Captain America being absolute is the one constant throughout the movie. Stuff like Iron Man 2 and 4 to Iron Man 3 even tries to have themes going through it, but they can't really commit to it. Iron Man 2 and 3's case is because there's a lot of improvisational elements, and 4-2's because the themes weren't particularly interesting to start with. But this definitely feels like a direct sequel to the Avengers, and really explores some parts of Captain America's character in that movie which were underdeveloped, which at the time the lack of response to being in modern ways was a tad distracting, but now in retrospect it feels like it was a form of PTSD, Captain America refusing to dwell on it, whereas now he dwells on it because it's so moving, there's time to dwell on it. So in short, really, really good movie, great action sequences. The first one with Winter Soldier pursuing Cap, Falcon, Black Widow is fantastic. The high mark of the MCU to date. The Avengers might have had more explosive sequences, but the construction for that sequence was amazing. That car chase one. So much so that the end of the movie can't really match it because they've already peaked in terms of their fight. Bit like the first Captain America movie where it peaks when he halfway through and then continues for a bit longer. But in this case, they do a good job of twists and turns in the end for this movie, including a great return for Zola, the Weasel sidekick to Red Skull in the first movie. So yeah, really good. Chris Evans does a fantastic job as Captain America in this movie. Action's great, directing's great, story's great, and the progression through Marvel Cinematic Universe is really good too. So yeah, so I believe there's just Guardians of the Galaxy, and then I'm on to Avengers Age of Ultron. So yay! So yeah, tomorrow will be Guardians of the Galaxy. What do I give Captain America? In terms of the MCU, I'd probably give it 4 out of 5. I think it's better than the Avengers, but I think the Avengers, just the sheer scale of everything they have to do and combining all of those rogue elements means that it transcends everything up to date. But I really enjoyed this one, and I'm very much looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy tomorrow. So until next time, remember, life is beautiful.